TCM podcast, all about Chinese medicine. Welcome to a new episode of Traditional Chinese Medicine TCM podcast. Today we are going to talk about the art of divination in China. We are going to talk about the Feng Shui. The art of divination in China has a vast tradition. Foundation traces go to several millennia. Such art incorporates China's political and social fabric. During history, it had various purposes: when to take part in war or when to seek peace, when to plant or harvest, or to schedule important events such as weddings and funerals. Very unique to divination in China is a symbiosis of astrology and geomancy. The purpose of Chinese divination is to unearth mysterious events and to position and balance humans to be in harmony with the flow of time and space. Analyzing stars and planetary positions, chronological movements, as the Earth's unique physical features, you can discover characteristic situational patterns in life. The very first unification of China's brought art of divination to be state law, adopted in 30 BCE. From the foundation of the empire in 221 BCE until its collapse in 1911, Chinese imperial state continuously employed professional diviners and sanctioned official texts about their art. Chinese astronomy incorporated astronomical advances from India, 9th century, following the arrival of Buddhism, and in 18th century, following European missionaries, which in turn greatly influenced Chinese astronomy. The crucial point for Chinese divination and astronomy marked Emperor Qianlong Hongli, who ended dispute in choosing correct methods for selecting times and orientations, as rectify calendrical and geographical practices, establishing a set of rules and principles known as treaties within Bureau of Astronomy, a unit of the Board of Ritual. Treatise is considered the official reference manual for imperial diviners and almanac makers. Chinese art of divination and astrology contains the very core of traditional culture and philosophy. Ancient China was considered neither supernatural nor superstitious. Information which the art dealt was thought to derive from the natural universe itself and not from a transcendent power. Traditionally, for consenting to an arranged marriage, parents compared the 8 characters of the bride's and groom's birth times to see if the two were well matched. Fortune tellers were consulted for advice about health issues. Farmers consulted almanacs to identify ideal times for planting and harvesting. Generals sought similar advices about when to engage the enemy. The Book of Changes is considered China's ultimate divination manual. And say about a few words about intuition and our ancestors. Nowadays, in modern societies, it seems that we lost touch with many skills that our ancestors used for their survival. Ability to use our intuition mostly disappeared to many people. We often experience intuitive feelings, but we choose not to follow it, as we do not see any logical explanation to justify it. In cases when seriously ill or in life-threatening situation, we start following our gut, which means that we haven't completely lost our intuition. This very intuitive feeling about a place is known as geomancy. Geo means earth, and mancy means the divination, or messages from the earth. Divination of the earth originally derived from the concept that future decisions about people's existence could be interpreted from the pattern created. A handful of soil was cast on the earth. One way of acquiring divination in our technologically created reality world is by rediscovering the concepts of Feng Shui, which were first documented about 2000 years ago. So, when we apply Chinese geomancy or Feng Shui, It's the interpretation of the feelings we got from our immediate surroundings using our senses and intuition based on the principles of these ancient Chinese science and philosophy. Traditionally, Chinese geomancy is passed through the generations for thousands of years until Guo Pu in the book of burial mentioned Feng Shui. The early Feng Shui concepts developed from the belief that the afterlife of the ancestors played a role in their descendants' physical existence on Earth. Feng Shui principles were applied to the landscape in order to find the most providential place to bury one's ancestors. Chinese believed that if they buried their ancestors in a fortunate place, then they would look after them during their lives, and thus ensure that their lives were also fortunate. Chinese believed and respected equally the invisible and the visible world. So, what is Feng Shui? Feng Shui is an ancient Chinese system of rules, concepts, and principles that endeavors to explain the impact on people's lives of the layout and design of their homes and businesses and the environment around them. It is about creating a living and working environment that is balanced and harmonious. Feng Shui is an ancient Chinese philosophy that dwells on the interaction of the five elements in the environment and on the energy, also called qi, that flows into your life. In Chinese language, Feng Shui literally means wind and water. The wind provides the movement flow of universal energy qi, affects everything. Water provides the container or receiver of qi. Feng Shui principles are designed to harmonize the wind and water influences. It encompasses what Chinese cosmology refers to as the qi flow or energy flow within a building. It describes as qi flows easily, or is it blocked or slowed down by the external environment around home, or by the interior design and decorations of your home. This concept is similar to the qi flow within the human body upon which traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture is based. According to ECM, if qi flows evenly through your body, you're generally healthy. Similarly, if qi gently flows through your home or business, then your life appears to flow more easily and luck, fortunate or good coincidences come your way. One purpose of applying Feng Shui concepts is to create a place where you want to spend time, rather than a one from which you are constantly trying to escape because something doesn't feel right. If the places where you spend a lot of time feel pleasant, this will have an effect on your general attitude to life and on everyone who comes to your home or business. You may intuitively know something feels wrong about a place, but at a loss to explain those feelings. You may also have observed situations in which people's luck, health, altered following change or home or business premises. Feng Shui proposes some answers to why these situations occur. It also provides some simple solutions to improve the flow, balance, harmony, wealth, health, fame, relationships, career, and creative aspects of people's lives. Everyone applies Feng Shui principles every day as they make decisions on how to set out their dining table, workbench, desk, choose a color, and more decisions which impact their immediate day-to-day environment. This daily practice of applying Feng Shui and its principles emanates from our desire for our immediate surroundings to feel good and to improve our feelings of love and happiness about the place where we live or work. Feng Shui is about listening to those unconscious, unexplained, intuitive feelings, using the principles of Feng Shui and making your home or workplace a place of light and joy. Principles of Feng Shui are based on the concept that everything we see in our physical world is made up of qi, or energy, which prompted scientific exploration of energies that are every bit as concrete as radio waves, but have yet to be identified by Western science. Just as the Chinese discovered and used the principles of the magnetic compass 1500 years before they were understood in Europe, so Western science lags a long way behind in the recognition and utilization of energies such as qi, landscape teemed with life, demons, guardians, and spirits of mountains, pools, springs, trees, and rocks. In fact, of any prominent feature of our locality. All of these could become objects for veneration, fear, or placation. Life was not confined merely to that defined as living by biology, but through the rocks, water, earth, and winds. The whole universe was seen as a living organism. Feng Shui principles are based mostly on observation, reflection, and common sense. Feng Shui offers techniques to express what we are feeling intuitively about a place. So when you walk into a place that doesn't feel right, instead of dismissing the intuitive feeling, you should be able to look around and assess what might be contributing to your feelings of unease. If it is a place that you can change, then make the appropriate Feng Shui alterations and observe over time the impact of these changes, whether profound or subtle. Feng Shui today is the combination of the principles of finding an auspicious place to bury your ancestors and later developments of their map form the Bagua form the basis for Feng Shui as it is applied today. In particular, it applies to places where people live and work. Feng Shui is also based on the recognition of the universal energy or Qi flow in any place and dragon lines of Qi in the landscape. Again, we cannot see this Qi, but by applying the principles of Feng Shui, we can exchange the flow of Qi to create a more harmonious place. The concept of energy and energy flow will unfold. It may be difficult to accept at first, but as you try some of the corrections and adjustment in your own home or businesses, you may notice changes in the feel of the place or in some aspect of your life. Our logical brains often dismiss the changes as mere coincidences. But how many coincidences does it take to convince us that the invisible world, on which many Eastern philosophies are based, can have just as big an influence on us as the physical world? It is interesting to note that in Hong Kong, the success or failure of businesses is often attributed to a respect for its location relevant to the dragon lines of Qi on the landscape. Buildings like the Hong Kong Region Hotel have been specifically designed so as not to interrupt the flow of Qi on the landscape and have operated successfully since opening. Some unsuccessful buildings have had to be modified and substantial cost to their owners when they have ignored this respect for the natural environment. There is an old legend that explains the history of Feng Shui related to Fu Xi, who is the legendary Chinese emperor. Fu Xi is credited with the initiation of hunting and fishing, the domestication of animals, and the invention of the Bagua, or 8 trigrams. While meditating on the banks of the Luo River, Emperor Fuxi noticed a tortoise emerging from the river with a series of solid and broken lines on its back. He has foreseen the entire universe reflection on the back of the turtle and arranged accordingly in 8 combination sets of 3 lines, some broken, which is actually yin, and some solid or unbroken, yang. Markings symbolize heaven and earth, fire and water, mountains and lake, wind and thunder. The pattern known as Bagua is a modification from the map Luo Shu, which literally means scroll book from the river Luo, which is given as a gift to Emperor Fuxi. In relation to earth energies, Chinese culture isn't the only one to recognize the places and landscape energy and its effects on people. Many ancient cultures recognized in which way earth energies influence people as well. Most of the old Catholic and Orthodox churches were built over an old animistic worshipping places. Metaphorically and literally, those places continue to be an ideal place to continue worshipping the gods without judgment about people's beliefs and doctrines. Similar respect for the universal energies and man-made structures can be seen in the Egyptian pyramids at Delphi, various structures and mounds built in North and South America. What is the structure of geomancy? Well, relations of people with a built and natural environment are affected by many inseparable elements such as Feng Shui, electromagnetics and radio waves, natural earth energies, in general, way of building materials, systems and design, and finally history. Feng Shui represents the most developed and sophisticated forms of geomancy. Feng Shui observes particular design, layout, and residential and workplaces, how these factors influence our health, wealth, relationship, etc. Foundation is based on the flow of Qi or energy. in the external environment and what effect produce on people. Natural energies, electromagnetism, radio waves, etc., can be a trigger for many diseases, producing an effect in reducing the immune system's ability to fight disease. These energies are created Earth's surface by geological health, faults, underground water streams, and geomagnetic energies. It has been observed that if people spend a lot of time negatively influenced by harmful places, they are more likely to be tired, restless, or unwell, beside all medical treatments they receive. Often the location of the home is a factor in why people are sick. Since 1963, researchers focus on electromagnetic influence on people. It seems that correlation links exist between electromagnetic fields and the incidence of several diseases such as insomnia, leukemia, cancer, and suicide. Since prehistoric times, people used natural material for buildings. Many things changed in the last 150 years. Industrial revolution created more sophisticated forms of building materials that aren't necessarily healthy for us. Many artificially created materials like asbestos, oil-based paints, various plastics or glues emit harmful gases for a long time and isolate us from natural environments. Heating and cooling systems have also affected the lives of many people in various buildings. Designs of houses and buildings also can follow natural landscape or oppose it, producing a negative or positive effect on people. What is the historical use of Feng Shui? The practical application of Feng Shui and geomancy always considers the historical usage of the built and natural environment. We should look no further than observe our ancestors and their homeland adaptation to natural laws. Modern idea of observing Feng Shui as a science has developed because experimentation is exactly what people do to the environment of their homes and workplaces. People often adjust and change their homes and offices with new furnishings, new paint colors, by renovating or by moving. In general, they are trying to make a new mix of the environment to see if they feel more comfortable than before, just like the scientists and their chemicals. Our life harmony is greatly affected by invisible earth energies in a positive and negative manner. We naturally feel cyclical, seasonal, and weather changes, even though we cannot see the energy that causes the change. What we can see is visible changes caused by invisible forces. We are all aware of full moon influence on people and nature. Movements of the tides by the moon are a great example of the impact of the invisible on the visible world. We function on a daily basis, respecting only visible around us and accepting it as the only reality. Psychology brought us understandings of the impact of colors, size, and shapes of a room or buildings on our mental, physical, and psychological status. We react differently to different colors. If we enter a room that is pointed red, we might feel aggressive, and vice versa. A response to a white room might result in calmness. An excellent example of the visible and the invisible is seen in the iceberg, where the visible part above the water is only a small part of the total mass. The visible part cannot exist without a huge invisible section under the water. Our world is very similar in that the invisible can sometimes have a large impact on us. We can't see sound, frequency or vibration, electricity or electromagnetic fields, wind, energy of atoms, but they unquestionably are part of our everyday life. In the visible world, built environment, natural topography such as rivers, mountains, and the sea continually affect our feelings for a place. The invisible is dependent on the visible and vice versa. Feng Shui observes, develops, and tracks the invisible factors related to our lives. In Feng Shui terms, the shape and location of rooms and buildings can have a profound effect on the occupants. Instead of Feng Shui, Didi is a term broadly used in classical Chinese texts, referring as land patterns, or in a modern sense, geography. Shui practitioners manipulate the surface of the body, earth, in order to influence the flow of qi along its hidden pathways. The rules of Feng Shui apply equally to the seating of a whole city, even a country, down to the arrangement of the living space in the smallest studio apartment in the heart of the city. There are two main schools of thought in Feng Shui: the Form School and the Neuro Compass School. The former school is concerned with the visible form of the landscape surrounding a site under consideration, related to a house or a tomb. Compass school, however, is concerned with a time axis and a complex set of relationships between directions. By the late 19th, the two schools were no longer separate and distinct. Feng Shui experts practiced both methods of view in respect places of origin. Fujian, Jiangxi. Various forms of nature's energy, qi, acts at every level include Shen qi, means vital birth energy qi, and Si qi, or torpid qi. The former is yang and the later is yin. Shen qi flows most readily during the hours of rising sun, which is midnight to noon. Si qi prevails during the declining hours of the sun from noon to midnight. As the sun moves from east to west, the compass point from which one expects either Shang-Chi or Si-Chi alternate. Just like the tides, Qi flourish and flows not only throughout the day but also throughout the seasons of the year and within the framework of the 60-year cycle upon Chinese calendar is based. Consequently, determining the current state of qi flow, related both to the clock and the calendar, it is important when beginning an enterprise, building, altering, moving, buying, or selling property. Every year has 12 months, and each month has position in time and space of vital and torpid qi. Whenever one builds on a vital qi position of a month, wealth will come his way and accumulate it. To violate a monthly position or torpid qi will bring bad luck and calamity. The interrelation between time, space, and qi is explained in the Dwelling Classic in terms of combination of the 12 earthly branches and the 10 heavenly stems, used to mark the passage of time, designated years, months, and days. 12 earthly branches mark the 12 double hours of the day and the 12 directions of the Feng Shui compass. Combined with the 10 heavenly stems, form the cycle of 120 Fen Jin, which also caters for the 60 days and 60-year cycle of the Chinese calendar. Qi flows every 2 hours of the day, changing directions and quality. Each year of the 60-year cycle has a different form of qi, which flows will not be repeated again in the next 60 years. To understand Feng Shui, it is essential to appreciate qi. On a macrocosmic level, qi is the energy of the body's breath, which is concentrated in various parts of the body. Macrocosmic level, qi is naturally accumulated and may be enhanced at certain points in the earth by the application of landscape alterations made in accordance with the Feng Shui rules. According to Chinese cosmology, qi pervades both heaven and earth. Therefore, it is divided into earth qi, yi qi, host qi, which exists in the dragon veins of the earth. These run through the earth and along its watercourses and are subject to decay. It is governed by the later heaven sequence of the trigrams. And heaven qi or tian qi, guest qi it means, is affected by the state of heaven and may overrule the effect of earth qi. It is governed by the former heaven sequence of trigrams, and the last one, which is called the weather qi, mediate between earth and heaven. The 5 weather qi are rain, fine weather or sunshine, heat, cold, and wind. The cyclical flux and growth cycle of qi is described by a series of the 12 palaces, which describe the rise and wane of qi energy in a human life cycle. It is equally well applicable to the waxing and waning of the qi of a site. According to Chinese cosmology, human life has the following stages. First one is to be born and growth, Shen, to be cleansed, to come at age, officially to reach stability and position in society, prosperity, to decay, sickness, death, soul incarnation, womb, nourishments. When the breath of qi is exhausted in the human's body, a person dies. When the qi is abandoned, extraordinary strength and skills can be performed. It is obviously very important for one's living space to be supplied with an adequate accumulation of qi. For most people, the degree of passive absorption of qi from our surroundings, at home or at work, is the factor governing our energy and lucidity level. An increase of the qi in a site automatically benefits those living there, and Feng Shui provides a method of doing this. Let's talk about the Feng Shui basic implementations. As we know, Feng Shui is an integral part of Chinese cosmology, and it is based on the five element theory. Five element theory can bring either positive or negative energies. What does each element signify and how are they represented? Water is a symbol of freshness, purity, and prosperity. It is represented by the color blue and black. Decorations of the furniture pieces that represent the water element must be located north of the house. The water element is represented by waves and curves. Fire is a symbol of strength and determination and leads us towards success. Our relationship with our partner is also affected by the warmth of fire. It is represented by the color of the sun, red, orange, pink, and yellow. Fire element decorations representing the must be placed south of the house. The fire element is expressed by triangles. Earth is a symbol of nourishment and stability. The earth serves as a strong foundation for man-made structures. It is represented by the colors brown and light yellow. Furniture should be placed in the house in the northeast and southwest areas. The earth element is represented by squares. Metal is a symbol of accuracy, productivity, competence, and promotes peace, simplicity, and clarity. It gives us the energy and the motivation to pursue a career. It is represented by neutral colors, gray and white. Furniture should be placed in the house in the west and northwest directions. Metal is represented by circles. Wood. Wood is a symbol of abundance and strength. Wood absorbs moisture and fuels fire. It is represented by the color green. Decorations symbolizing the wood elements must be positioned at the eastern and southeastern part of the house. The wood element is expressed by rectangles. Interaction among these five elements is complex, with very basic concepts. For example, if you want to succeed in your aspirations, then the fire element must be placed in the southern part of the house. If water can be destructive to fire, then it is prohibited to place a water element on the southern part of the house. The same is true for the rest of the elements. You just have to know which one is constructive or destructive to whom. Basically, the constructive cycles runs this way: water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. The destructive cycle, on the other hand, is this way: water, fire, metal, wood, earth, water. Aside from the concept of qi and the five elements, Feng Shui also follows the yin and yang principles. For example, yin represents negativity, is a symbol of femininity, passive energy, and its color is black. Yang represents positivity, a symbol of masculinity, strength, and active energy, shown as color white. Principles of yin and yang must be applied to each room of the house to promote harmony and happiness. For example, the bedroom is an ideal place for yin. The bedroom is the place for sleep and relaxation, a retreat, and a place where we can clear our mind of worries. Playing soothing music while resting attracts yin energy. On the contrary, all yang items such as television, gadgets, and powerful lights should be placed in the living room, which is filled with yang energy. The benefits of following the Feng Shui principles are reflecting on our good health, successful career, relationships, reputations, skill, knowledge, and creativity. In short, Feng Shui can help us to achieve a better life. Different sources of qi in external environment influence our living space in general. Qi is greatly accumulated in the water. The house is located near the ocean, a peninsula. It gets too much qi from the ocean. Use its exposure to abundant yang without affecting great scenery. We should surrounding the house with trees, in case the house is near road. The moment of traffic on the road is a symbol of flow water in a river. As a water full of qi gathered within transportation can pass by the house or land if we don't capture it with some trees or shrub along our boundaries. The intensity of the qi movement and the size of the trees or shrubs will vary depending on the traffic flow. Another factor in qi flow is whether the road passes straight across the front of the property, curves gently across the property, or whether it is aimed directly at the front door. In short, the external environment is the first place to adjust the qi flow before looking at the internal environment in a place in order to achieve a harmonious qi flow in and around it. In order to successfully apply Feng Shui at home or office, we need to use Bagua, which is 8 trigrams, or the main Feng Shui tools used to analyze the Feng Shui energy in any given space. There are 2 ways of applying to the Feng Shui Bagua: traditional school and the Western school. In order to use traditional Bagua, we need to take the compass reading at the front door. We'll need the compass reading of the house front door, original front door, because that's the spot where the Qi enters the house. Western application of Bagua goes to school which does not take the compass direction into consideration. In this system, Bagua is defined by aligning the lower end, the basic Bagua grid, with the wall of the front door of the house. In general, Bagua represents 8 trigrams, with a 9th element in the center of the form of the yin-yang symbol of balance, and it's referred to as the Tai Chi, which is focused on all energy. The Bagua is fundamental tool of Feng Shui. Its divisions of heaven and earth, mountain and lake, fire and water, thunder and wind represent virtually every aspect of life, including wealth, fame, marriage or relationships, children or projects, helpful people, career, inner knowledge and family or ancestors. For example, wealth is represented by the trigram for wind, and fame is represented by the trigram for fire. Within any place, these divisions are all represented, and the shape of any place is clues as to what is happening in the lives of the people associated with that place. Within Feng Shui, the external shape of a block of a land, a building of a room, has a significant effect, flow of energy and overall balance of the place. Bagua is defined by implementation of the strict rules. For example, southward direction is the best main orientation for a house to be placed in. If a house has a large tree directly in front of the doorway, it is considered deflection of the entrance of wealth. Regular or rectangular shape of land represents the best option for the future house. Bedrooms should never be built over either empty spaces, garages, or empty storerooms because this creates a Qi vacuum underneath and affects the occupants adversely, leaving them without support. The gateway of the house should, by the same rule, not be bigger than the entranceway to the house, for it thereby detracts from the Qi accumulation of the household. There should be ample room in front of any garage entrance. In the kitchen, rules water with yin and fire with yang. And this suggests that they must not confront each other, so that the sink or a refrigerator should not face stove. Refrigerator represents water element and stove fire. Yang should in each case slightly predominate over yin to obtain a favorable Feng Shui balance. There are a number of key points in house architecture that need to be considered from a Feng Shui point of view. The gate or main door of a building is the house entering point of abundant Qi, the direction of which determines the overall benefit of otherwise occupants. Interior courtyard helps to accumulate beneficial Qi. Having trees in the courtyard is limited and shall not be planted in the center of the courtyard because they introduce too much yin, increase the humidity, and if they grow too big, they might dominate the house. The toilet is one of the points of the whole water evocation in the house. As it is negative, it is ideal to place it in an inauspicious location to suppress malignant qi, to help lift the mood of your living room and to maintain its vibrancy. It is important that we mix and match the colors and furniture well. The main entrance of the house represents career and potential for success in general. If the main entrance is too narrow, the flow of qi will be restricted in that part of the house. There should be no place of furniture standing along the entrance hall because this will block the flow of qi and might cancel future opportunities. A long entrance hall is considered a bad choice as it might prevent luck and prosperity from reaching you instantly. The best thing to do is to keep your main entrance wide. Once you open your front door, a wide open space should be welcoming you. Sofas placed at the center of the living room symbolize weaknesses and unharmonious relationships. The walls symbolize our source of or support. We mustn't place sofas right in front of doors, blocking the main door chi circulation. Place something along the entrance point. It might keep us from achieving maximum potential and success. If the sofa is well arranged, it might attract power, luck, and furniture. It is considered a bad choice to have two or more doors in the living room because in this way chi can flow from one door out to the other and luck can exit through the other door. If there are two doors, the rule is that we keep those doors closed. We mustn't place a door directly in front of another to energy blockage. Each door can only be accompanied by 3 windows and must. This means that if you have 2 doors in the living room, the maximum number of windows that you can install is 6. I hope that you understand better the idea of Feng Shui, its history, development, and the usage in the contemporary China and in the world. Thank you one more time for following me and wish you all the best with love and light. TCM Podcast, all about Chinese medicine.